Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Living Large Las Vegas. My name's COBY Sherlock, and today, back in the lab, Mr. Derek Parent. Derek, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello.
Guys, today we're bringing a special community leader to you and someone who has led an amazing cause, one that you're probably familiar with, but maybe just don't know too much about in detail. Today, I have the CEO of the Ronald McDonald House here in Greater Las Vegas, Miss Alyson McCarthy. Alyson, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everyone. It is so exciting to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm super excited to dive in about this topic because it's been something that's been a part of my life for a long time.
Yep, we all have that first McDonald's story when you're able to venture out of the neighborhood for the first time and go to McDonald's and order your first cheeseburger.
I mean, you just lock in and you fall in love and the story continues.
Yes, exactly. You know, back then, Ronald McDonald was the second greatest known icon right behind Mickey Mouse.
You know, and both have traveled greatly into our present and obviously big plans for the future. I have to ask you, I mean, you lead an amazing cause and we're going to get into it, but can you share a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background and how you landed here in Vegas for the listeners?
Yes, I've been in Las Vegas for a long time. Las Vegas is home. I landed here in August, came from a very small town, Yuma, Arizona, where I was a reporter and was brought to Las Vegas to go to Channel 13 and become a weekend anchor. Was so excited. I was moving up in my life, and that was 1989. First story I did was the opening of the Mirage on the Strip. Yeah, that was insane, coming from this tiny little river town to Las Vegas where they were opening night of the Mirage. And so I've been doing broadcasting for about 25 years, and I wanted to do something different. Wanted to go into nonprofit. I wanted to do something that I felt was, for lack of a better word, more meaningful from day to day, where I could actually impact and touch someone's life and at the end of the day leave and feel like, wow, that was fantastic. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow.
I mean, what a story, path here in Las Vegas. We hear from a lot of amazing folks on the podcast here, incredible leaders and just, amazing organizations. And it always tells an incredible story of unity and just growth here. And you've seen literally a large part of Las Vegas grow in the Mirage from the start to the finish and where you're at now. What would you say, through your experience in media, moving into the nonprofit sector, what translated well for you into the new industry?
Oh, absolutely everything. Because being in the nonprofit world, you're meeting new people every day, and you're doing something that some people find very difficult to do. You're asking them to give you money, and not everyone feels very comfortable about that. And that was one of the things I was really worried about. But then, my skills as a reporter, where every day I was really trying to bring to life a story. And I was always asking things of people. Will you go on camera with me? Well, that's equally as difficult to do in this day and age, as trying to find people who will be open and candid and honest with you on camera as you're reporting. So those skills of just being able to form relationships with people fairly easily and form sincere relationships, because people can look you in the eye and know that, okay, well, I'm going to write her a check for, $5,000 and I'm never going to see her again. They can tell if you're that type of person. So having the ability to form relationships that are meaningful in a fairly short period of time, and then just following up and being there and being present. I think that's probably the best skill I took from my broadcast world into nonprofit.
How long have you been the CEO for Ronald McDonald House?
Well, let's say I started as the executive director, and then I got a big promotion to CEO, and that was like 2 years later. So it's been 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. 9 years. It feels like it's been about 9 weeks.
It happens quick.
It does.
It does go by.
I don't know. The last 9 weeks we've had have felt like
exactly.
9 years.
Maybe,
so.
maybe not 9. Maybe not the last 9 weeks. That's probably not a good reference. But yes, it's gone by very quickly.
So the Ronald McDonald House, what in all does it detail? What does it do for the community? What do you guys have been doing for the community?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of the Ronald McDonald House and they think of what we were first kind of laughing about. They think of McDonald's because McDonald's is our founding mission partner, and it's because of them that we exist. But our Ronald McDonald House came to be with the help of the Las Vegas Junior League, the medical community, and of course McDonald's back in 1998. And our Ronald McDonald House is a temporary home away from home for families who have to travel to Las Vegas because their child needs what is usually life-saving medical treatment that they can't get back home. Most of our residents are from small towns in Nevada, but they'll come to us from other states and all over the country as well, all of the world.
How would you say the families are connected with the house?
Yeah, they are in a desperate situation because usually they've just received some sort of catastrophic diagnosis for their child, whether it's a high-risk pregnancy and they're going to give birth to a baby who minutes after coming into this world has to be whisked away by helicopter for open heart surgery. You know, they're already coming through our doors with just this look of what just happened, like the rug was just ripped out from underneath them. So they instantly form bonds with each other, and they need the house, and the house needs them. We could easily put a family up in a hotel, and hotels are wonderful. But when you're going through something like this, you need to be with other people who are going through a similar situation, because no one understands until you've walked into a room and you've seen your child with all of these tubes and all of these wires coming out of them, and they've just come out of open heart surgery, or they've just had some, really, really terrible chemotherapy protocol. You can't really relate to that. And not a lot of people are necessarily comfortable relating to that. You may say, how are you? But you really don't want to know. You're busy with your life. Well, these families share this in common. And so when their children come in and they're in wheelchairs or they're in braces or they've got scars that come down their chests, those are their little patches of glory. Those are their little war wounds, and they're all the same, so they have that bond in common, and it allows them to relax. It allows them to heal, and it allows them to have the strength that they need to get through from one day to another to hopefully get back home. That's the goal, get back home.
How many families a year do you guys currently help?
Yeah.
About 300.
About 300,
We'll have 300 families come through our doors, and it's usually anywhere from 600 to 800 family members. So they'll come in 2s, 3s. We can take up to 6. And so by the end of the year, let's see, we opened in 1998. We've had 6,000 families come through our doors.
Wow.
6,000. 60,000 nights of stay in those years.
So with the pandemic that started, how has that, impacted you guys? Because I know a lot of medical procedures were kind of on hold. How did?
Absolutely, and that reminds me of one of the families that we just had in our house recently, and that's exactly what happened. The families that come to us are already in medical crisis, so then you add the COVID crisis on top of that. And one of the things that happened right off the bat was all elective surgeries were just brought to a halt. And believe it or not, if it's a child that needs a catheter to be replaced, that might be considered an elective surgery because that child could wait a month or 2. But I'm telling you, by the end of that month or 2, that child is in pretty bad shape and needs to get in. So parents had the stress of being told, oh, your child's valve procedure, your child's catheter procedure has been put off, and they didn't know for how long. So one family came to us, and they were waiting for 3 weeks for this surgery to happen. And every day their little one was getting a little bit sicker and a little bit sicker. Finally, then the moratorium on elective surgeries was lifted, and little one had her surgery. And within 2 weeks, they were able to go back home. But the stress that mom felt and what she had said to us at the end was, it was so touch and go. We didn't know what was happening from day to day. There's so much uncertainty. And then you throw the uncertainty of what COVID has brought to our world now. And it was like crisis upon crisis for them. But, thank goodness there was a happy ending, and the child did get the surgery, and we were there to try and keep mom and dad calm. And now they're back home, and little one's doing great. And we love that. We love that ending.
You guys stay pretty connected to the families that come through?
We do, because we're one of the smaller houses. We're 12 rooms with 12 private baths, but they're like suites. And so we get to know every family. Plus, our offices are right in the house. So we work in this house, and we get to know these families. Some of them stay days, but some of them stay months. We've even had one family that stayed with us 2.5 years through their child's cancer protocol. So you really get to know these families and their children, and it becomes their house. We're just working in their house. So,
off air, you shared with me, and it helped me to understand, the model, and again, I fell into place of one of the masses that thought with Ronald McDonald House, it was essentially a large corporation and maybe service the cities, but no, it's Can you explain a little bit about how that model's set up and how you are servicing, the local geographical city?
Right. So worldwide, we have 370 independent charities that are Ronald McDonald houses, and there are other programs that they serve. Here in the United States, we have over 180, and we are all our own 501c3s. So we set our own course. We do raise our own funds. We make our own decisions with our boards, and we have the support of our local McDonald's owner-operators, as well as those who do have corporate stores here. The corporate stores are a few, but the majority of the McDonald's here are your neighbors. The McDonald's owners are the people who are shopping at your grocery store and going to your department store and that you're running into at church. So those local McDonald's owner-operators are a big part of what we do here. And I think a lot of people do think corporate, big corporate McDonald's, but it's very ground up. It is very, very ground up.
And I love hearing that perspective because, coming from the nonprofit world, and we do a lot, Derek and I and the whole team, we do a lot with nonprofits and givebacks. And, for us, it means a lot more when we're affecting our local supported community and literally helping our neighbors. So when I heard Ronald McDonald, I thought, national corporate, I was one of those. But knowing that it is local, it is Las Vegas, and we're supporting those in our local areas and coming in makes a whole difference. I really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, and I think that, folks who do live here and who've been in Las Vegas, we know that we're not the Strip. But for folks who come and visit us, that's what they think. We live on the Strip. We all hang out in hotels all the time, and none of us really do that unless we have company in town or we have friends coming into town. But our owner-operators are very much local people. They'll do teacher nights, where they support the school that's closest to their store. They sell newspapers in their restaurants to raise money for our scholarships. So they want to educate the young workforce out there so that hopefully maybe they'll come to work at McDonald's one day and maybe they'll own a McDonald's one day.
What other programs do you guys offer through Ronald McDonald House? I know there's a lot.
Yeah, so we have our house, which is our cornerstone program. It's about 13,000 square feet, and you've heard that we help families in the home that come and actually live and stay with us. We also have a mini house. It's 1,300 square feet, but it is right on the floor of the neonatal intensive care unit at Sunrise Children's Hospital. So that's our largest referral hospital. Most of our families have children there. And that house, that little mini house, is called the Ronald McDonald Family Room. You come out of your baby's NICU bassinet, you walk a few steps down the hall, and you come into what looks like a little respite room. It's beautiful. It's like a mini house. So you can rest, you can take a nap. There's sleeping rooms. There's a fully stocked kitchen. You can make a real meal. It's just short bursts of respite. These are mostly local families that don't have time or don't have the wherewithal to be able to leave long enough to go home, because home is 30 minutes away. It's across town. So they can get a cup of coffee or grab a snack or take a nap or sleep overnight if they need to. In those really, really critical situations, we can't even get them to come down the road to stay at the house. They don't want to leave that child's hospital bed because it's so touch and go.
Well, my son was born with jaundice, so I know I was there for 5 days flipping him in his incubator. So you don't
under the light.
You don't want to leave your child. No, I remember that like it was yesterday, and he's going to be 18 in August. So
that was the same for us. We, when Leo was born, he's 9 months now, but thank you. He was 6 weeks early, had jaundice as well. But of course, because he was early, Nikki wanted to see that he could feed on his own will and power, and we were there. I think 9 days, maybe. I can't remember exactly, but I know it felt like forever. And you're right. We were at Centennial, and I live in Southwest, so it was a 30-minute drive.
Right.
Not wanting to leave. When you do have to leave, it was a tough run.
Oh, eventually, we'd love to have family rooms in every hospital. I think even whether the patient's a child or an adult, you want to have those family members close, and I think the need is always there, regardless of where you are. But so the family room would be our second program, and then the third. A lot of people have no idea. We have a Caremobile. It's called the Ronald McDonald Caremobile, and it is a state-of-the-art dental van that literally rolls through Nevada, mostly through tiny rural towns in North Nevada and in South Nevada. And they do free and low-cost dental services for children who don't have a dentist living in their community.
Like cleanings and all that good stuff.
Cleaning, sealants. They can do a root canal on that van.
Wow.
It's incredible. Yeah, they're all certified, trained, licensed dentists and dental assistants. And we take Caramobile everywhere, because without it, those kids that is their primary dental home in some place like Winnemucca or Battle Mountain, Mesquite, Pahrump. And
Ely, Elko,
yes,
all that stuff. Yeah,
those are those are the haunts where the Caramobile goes. And she tries to get in there twice a year, so that you're supposed to go to the dentist every 6 months. And it's an amazing program. And we hear from a lot of parents that say, if it weren't for Caramobile, my children wouldn't have dental care. And what a toothache's like.
Yeah.
Or if you've got a cavity. So those, if they're left untreated, can become very serious medical issues, and interferes with the child's pain level and their ability to concentrate, their ability to eat, nutritiously, their ability to concentrate in school. So dental care is really, I think, a lot more important than we give it credit for.
Yeah, I would agree. So what are the hospitals, or what are the organizations you would affiliate with? I know we have, Children's Cancer Institute, but what other, like, I don't want to say feeder, right? But what are the
referral agencies, as we call them, and partner agencies that we work very closely with? Sunrise Children's Hospital, Summerlin Hospital, University Medical Center is a big partner of us, as is all of the childhood cancer organizations. So Candlelighters and Children's Heart Center and Cure for Kids. These are all wonderfully, very respected organizations doing amazing work, and they help us, and we help them. And I think collaboration is the name of the game in the nonprofit world today. The more that we can do, that they don't have to worry about, the more that they can do that we're not trained to do, and that we don't excel doing, but we can rely on them to do for us, the better. You save money, you're more efficient, and you're really providing integrated care throughout the community.
That's one thing I truly love about this community. Everyone is willing to help out. People are not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get dirty. That's one thing that we realize. But even with a lot of the volunteers, so I'm assuming that anyone that goes on the bus for the teeth, they're all volunteer based. So if you have a lot of volunteers, how can people get involved with giving back to you guys? I mean, sometimes people just don't have the money, but I know a lot of our listeners, I know a lot of people, they like to, gift with time. Sure,
absolutely. And the Ronald McDonald House, or Ronald McDonald House Charities, and all of our programs, we don't work. We don't exist without our volunteers, because we're a small staff. There's fewer than 20 of us on the payroll, but we have hundreds of volunteers that, through our programs, are the ones that are staying inside the family room, helping our families, the ones cooking the dinners for the families when they come home from the hospital. They're the ones that are actually our boots on the ground as well. And so we love for our volunteers to come in, do an orientation, take a tour of the house, learn about all of our various programs, and then find out what kind of hits their heart, what speaks to them. What do they want to do? Because that's what's going to make them most happy and make them feel most fulfilled. We pride ourselves on really trying to make it a premier volunteer experience for our volunteers, because we know when COVID hit, guys, we couldn't have volunteers in the house.
No.
Oh my gosh, it was devastating for us. Can you imagine, staff's cooking dinners for the families now? We're doing the very best we can, but I've got one of my staff here right now, Carolyn, in the studio, and I'm gonna she's probably going to kill me for this, but she was baking an apple crisp the other day, and it was in the broiler just 60 seconds too long. It came out, and she's like, I ruined it. They're scraping off the top of the, we're humans. We have volunteers who do things much better than we do, and they still love the apple crisp. But, that's just one example. When COVID hit, the reality of how much we depend on our volunteers and how much better they are than we are at some things, it just was like crystal clear.
Yeah. When I think about the amount of volunteers that come, and again, it plays into the great city of Las Vegas and how many people do give their time. I find it to be super phenomenal. I jumped in several organizations to volunteer here in recent weeks. And that creates its own community, and you see how many talents. I love that you spoke into what they do well, because I'm volunteering next to people that are just spectacular in their
building
industries.
Houses and
it blows
growing
my mind.
gardens, and it's just
feeding
incredible. People. Yes, feeding people.
So for you guys, what do you obviously we're in a time where, you know, events, things like that are a little iffy or what's going on. So what do you have coming down the pipeline for anybody that wants to support or maybe participate?
That would be wonderful. Well, we have a wonderful organization called Red Shoe Society, and they are our young working professionals. But boy, when they came on the scene, it was like, wow. They have 60, 70 members, and they're just the youth. They're the leaders of tomorrow. They're the leaders of today. And they've come together with this very common mission, and that is to network, to socialize, and to fundraise for the Ronald McDonald House. And they have a blast doing it. So one of the things I would say, they've got a virtual event coming up tomorrow night, is you could head to our website, rmhlv.org. And so again, RMHLV.org. That's short for Ronald McDonald House, Las Vegas.org. And you could click on Red Shoe and find out about that, because they've got a concert tonight that's going to be virtual. They're doing virtual bingo. They've got a mixologist kind of doing his thing. And so, you know, I just think that the youth today are incredibly impassioned. And so that's one fun thing that they could do to get involved. We also have our house birthday coming up this year. And that is that we turned 22, and we're going to do a big campaign called 22 Because of You. 22 because of you, our community. We're still standing, and we're still helping, and we're still considered an essential service. So we're going to do an online donation campaign where we're saying donate $22 for 22 years. And again, that'll all be up on the website on Monday. So when this airs, this is going to be on the website by then.
All right.
So you're really excited about that. Now, what else is going on that I could be? Carolyn, is there another event that right now, I mean, we've got our fall fundraiser, which is going to be pretty incredible, but it's still pretty early for that. But anybody who wants to get involved in that event or learn more about it, again, can head to our website, because everybody's having to think out of the box now.
Yeah.
The gala, what gala? You know, those just don't exist anymore. And maybe they've had their heyday. Who knows? Now we have to think very creatively and keep people engaged and do it in a virtual way, or at least a little while longer.
Yep. Well, there's two things. You know, we if you ever need anyone to dress up as Ronald McDonald, we have someone inside the office with 6 foot redhead, and I think he could.
He would crush that role.
I need to meet this person.
Dwayne Workman, he's over there.
I love you, Dwayne. I'm sorry that just happened live.
But he loves giving back, and he can dress up as Ronald. And secondly, you know, I think you know, we talk a lot about this. I'm very much of a SWOT person, you know, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. And I think there's always an opportunity to come out of this. I think, you know, things that we were looking at to do, like, you know, I have, you know, my priority list, right? So things that were on my C list before, they're now on my A list because of how we have to shift. So in business, right, there's probably some great opportunities that are going to come out of this. And I think that, you know, having the young people's network, the professionals, and in this community, you know, of supporters. I know Vegas Chamber. Yes. You know, thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, Michelle
over at Las Vegas Metro.
Yeah, and you know, they've been fantastic to us, fantastic to this community. But you know, just the introduction, they always are introducing us to people that are doing amazing things in the community. And, you know, the children thing is one of those things. You know, it's for me personally, it touches home, right?
Tugs at your heart.
You know, it kind of, you know, it's a tearjerker when you see kids that are in pain or newborn and so forth, and it's something that's near and dear to our heart, and to see it, you know, for the last 9 years to go through it, you know, it's I can only imagine, you know, it's not that easy.
Well, funny that you should say that, because I've had people come up to me and say, "How can you do it? How can you be around these families all the time?" And I say, it's not what you think. The house is, we call it the Disneyland of nonprofits for a reason, because it's a very happy place. It's a place filled with light and with hope, where families do come together and they rely on each other and they get strength from each other. But these kids, 99.9% of the time, they get the care they need, and they survive and they thrive. And then we get the school pictures and the happy Christmas pictures, and they're posted all over our house. So really, I think, when I'm having a bad day, all it takes is being in that house.
You look at the pictures, and
and it just lifts me up, and it gives me instant perspective.
You know, man, I'm thinking about just the feelings of, you know, what joy that could bring for you on your day to day. And I'm also a big Disneyland fan, so I get that feeling, you know. But I got to know, you know, for being in this mix now 9 years and being a part of this community so long, you have any really, you know, special favorite memories that you want to share?
it's so funny that Carolyn, when we were driving over here, had said, think about some of your favorite memories. And I said, how weird that you would ask me that, because I had a memory that came through my mind this morning that I've never shared with anyone. And it just came to me this morning, and it was from my first year here. And I've never thought about it since then, but it was such an incredible moment with a family. A dad was coming in to make breakfast, and I had walked in. I was making a hot tea that morning. And he's like, Alyson, you have to see my son's surgical incision. He just got done with heart surgery. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sure it's wonderful, but I'm okay. Yeah. And he goes, no, you're not going to believe this. And so his little guy, Ben, he puts him on the counter, and he just pulls back the flap of the gauze, right? And this child, this infant, this newborn had open heart surgery, which, is an incision all the way down the front of the chest. 3 days later, there was no incision. There was fresh pink skin that had closed in 3 days. And I am so glad that I did that, because I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to handle this, and then I was like, he's like, right? I'm like, this is incredible. So it's such a testament to the fact that newborns are so fragile, but they are so amazingly resilient at the same time. Those little cells are growing and remanufactured 3 days after open heart surgery, and the incision was closed. And this little baby is just like, it's like, he's happy camper. It's stuck with me all this time.
After open heart surgery, huh?
That's incredible. Well, I tell you, I really appreciate you breaking down everything on the Ronald McDonald House for us, and how special it is for the activities and the folks that you meet and the families that you serve. For anybody that wants to get involved with you directly, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
The best way is for us to, and we will be able to do this very soon, like within the next couple of weeks, is come to the house. Make a phone call, reach out to us via the website. Come see it for yourself, because I can sit here and talk about it till I'm blue in the face. But until you see the four walls and you meet the people and you see the families who are there, then you get the bug. So I would say go to the website, again, www.rmhlb.org, and it tells you all the wonderful ways you can get involved, all the opportunities that are out there to volunteer, and start with a tour. There's even a virtual tour of the house. But again, you have to walk through the door to feel the feel.
The house has to be crazy. I mean, thinking McDonald's and all that great stuff. It has to be pretty...
Actually, it's very calm and soothing.
I've never been. I'm in. I'll go on a tour. Let's do it.
Would love to have you guys out there.
I'd love to check it out. I mean, again, it's something we love and we're passionate about. We try to personally, as a team, well, it used to be we tried to select 3 people to three charities to service.
We did 3 charities,
I feel like right now with COVID, it's become like 10 charities. But
we did 2 already for the year. We already done 2. So of course, so when we come in, can I order a number 9, no onions?
Unfortunately,
is there McDonald's at the house?
No, there's not. We have a lot of McDonald's crew members come to the house, but believe it or not, they don't bring burgers and fries. They actually cook home cooked meals right there. But yes, you will be amazed when you see the house.
No, it's funny because I hate to say this, but I can't. But that's kind of my go-to. Like, honestly, if I'm going to go for fast food, it's always McDonald's. It's not In-N-Out. It's not Chick-fil-A. It's McDonald's.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So what is your favorite? Because mine's a quarter pounder with cheese.
I do the number 9 with no onions, medium. Sometimes you need a little salt and sugar, and you're going to get that from the French fries.
Yeah. What's the number 9?
The 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Right. Well, and they got that value menu too. And I'm not allowed to sell burgers on air, so I can't say anything else. But I can remember being literally 12 years old, walking out of my neighborhood for the very first time, because my parents said, "This is the first time you're going to walk with your sister to go out of the neighborhood." And we went to our McDonald's, and for 95 cents, I got a cheeseburger, I got French fries, and I got an orange drink, and I got a nickel back on my quarter, and that was in the 70s.
Yeah. They used to have apple pies. But but going back to like the Ray Kroc, when the McDonald's all started, how that all started, just the way, where it evolved. They've always been givers. They've always given back. Yes. And the Ronald McDonald's House, I've heard it for, 20, 30 years. I know it's been around for a long time. Yeah. But just the way that they give back and, it's amazing. It's
in this day and age.
It's such a great name. It's a pillar.
When was the first year?
Yeah, our first year was for the house. It was 1974.
Yeah.
What about the overall? Do you know?
The burgers were the 50s.
No, not burgers. Yeah. The Ronald McDonald House.
First house, was Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
It was the Philadelphia Eagles. It was the NFL. Best friend with the McDonald's owner-operator. One of their players, a child got cancer. And so they said, there's got to be something we can do for these families going back and forth to the hospital. They bought the house across the street from the hospital. And they started very loosely with the first Ronald McDonald House, and now we're 370 strong. And that was 1974.
Metastasized 46 years ago.
Jeez. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm not an Eagles fan, but that's pretty
I am
incredible.
now. I know. I'm a Raiders fan, but and I'm a Niners fan too. And I know that's a twisted sister kind of thing, but it can happen. But I love the Philadelphia Eagles for that.
Yeah, I love the give back. I love how people are just so generous. It's the time of need. With the child, the time of need sparked up the first house, and now over 300 homes. And McDonald's is such givers, and then the community of volunteers and
very organic.
Yeah, we're very grateful to have you in the studio, but grateful that what you do for this community, because there's so many great organizations. This is a town of nonprofits. Nonprofits that want to help. A ton of them. I know when COVID came, we had I had bought 3 big boxes of toilet paper, 90 rolls, and
where did you get it?
Well,
that's a whole other story.
Well, that was because we actually had the corporate account, so we ordered them. And what I was doing, as I seen people that needed it, we would donate it. So there's a couple like Living Grace is one of the
Living
so
Grace
we
is
gave
great.
We donated Kathleen came over and we donated her.
She's a good friend of mine.
Oh, she's a rock star.
She's a dear friend of mine
Just
too.
love her.
I love her to death. I mean, I can tell her. She did 30 years of sobriety and all this stuff.
Yep.
She is an amazing woman. Yep. She actually was in your seat once before. Really good friend of mine, really good friend of ours. But
and doing amazing things for women out there in really, really difficult situations.
I'm a huge fan of Kathleen and the work. I did visit Living Grace Homes. I had a chance to take a tour.
Me too.
And just like you shared, how folks just need to go and see. When you're there,
Well, and their missions are very similar because they're home based.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those girls are living there at Living Grace, and our families are living under our roof, and it's about the best kind of tender loving care you can get.
Yeah. If you're listening and you've never done a tour, and obviously take advantage of this opportunity that Alyson's extending to you guys.
Come
see the house.
Yeah.
It'll change the way you interpret everything that's happening around you with it. And I'm excited personally. I want to go see it. I can't wait.
Can I put in one final plug?
Of course.
The toilet paper made me think of this because the latest shortage.
I have more if you need something.
That is so good to know offline. No, but
I still have a box. I still have a box left.
But the toilet paper of today, the shortage of today is coin. We're heading into this national coin shortage because the minted a lot less coins, so people aren't exchanging hand to hand. So we're asking folks, please, when you go to your McDonald's, round up. First of all, it's going to help the small business owners of the McDonald's because they don't have exact change to give back, and it's going to hit this community very hard very soon. So this is kind of like breaking news, but there's this awesome opportunity to round up for Ronald McDonald.
That news reporter always comes out of you. This is 2 times now.
She dropped a story
breaking
on us
news,
just now, right?
This is breaking.
She was like, not only can you round up for Ronald McDonald House, but you guys are about to have a coin shortage.
Yes, exactly. I know. They're like, oops, I guess we should have maybe created more coin out there, but we were trying to not, spread the disease, so the infection.
So every time McDonald's, you can round up for Ronald McDonald House.
Right.
Also, they have the coin slots. When you get your change,
the
you put it
donation
in
boxes, yes.
Absolutely.
Boom. Thank you.
That's right. That's something that's at every location.
It makes it sound like you eat at McDonald's like 5 times a week. It's not all the time, but when you're there,
we're gonna have to talk about this off air about your McDonald's obsession. Well, I tell you guys again, Alyson, thanks so much for coming to share. Listeners, take your opportunity that's coming down the pipeline and visit Ronald McDonald House. But we're coming to you live, Living Large, Las Vegas. I think we're going to go to McDonald's after this maybe and donate to Ronald McDonald House by rounding up.
We will be at the house, though. We will be at the house.
That's true. We're going to come visit. Living Large listeners, check them out. Ronald McDonald House. Get involved. Give back. Do your part. Let's support our community.